Hello and welcome to another Dragonstorm Studios video. And today we're going to draw a portrait of Hayao Miyazaki. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. Miyazaki is a Japanese filmmaker who works in the animated style, who has done some iconic films over the years. My personal favorites include Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro. Just a fantastic filmmaker who's got just such an incredible style. Oh my god, and Nausicaa. I can't forget Nausicaa. Why did I forget Nausicaa? I blame Shia LaBeouf. Hey, just like Guillermo Del Toro, he is an individual I haven't drawn before because I'm always a little bit nervous about drawing someone who is responsible for quite a lot of my influences, especially when I was a little bit younger. I say a little bit younger because I only discovered Studio Ghibli, which is his company, and their films in my 20s. I remember seeing an ad for a movie coming out in theaters, and this would have been released in 1999 for us here in North America, and it was Princess Mononoke. And I remember seeing that in the theater, and much like any Wes Anderson film I've ever seen, or I guess my first Wes Anderson movie, I wasn't really sure what to expect, and what I got certainly wasn't what I expected, but in the best possible way. And I remember just being so enamored and thrilled with the film, even though it was definitely not what I expected. I expected something a little more adventure-y, a bit more action-packed, because I just didn't know better. And none of my friends were really into anime, so I went to go see the movie by myself. And I remember just coming out of the theater being stunned, not only by the visuals, but also by the story. And for a background and history on Mr. Miyazaki, I'm going to direct your attention to Film Joy, which is an amazing YouTube channel who has done way more incredible work than I have on movies. And in particular, top right-hand corner of this video is absolutely sublime. All right, so we have some placement of our facial features in the picture at this point. At this stage, you'll probably notice that it does not look exactly like Hayao Miyazaki yet, but we're making progress anyways. The glasses are going to be a really big factor in terms of just making it look a bit more like the gentleman himself. Eagle-eyed viewers might notice that I have also shifted the head a little bit since the last video. I noticed that because of my tripod, I tend to draw a bit more on a slant, so I've made adjustments there as well. I spoke in the first section of the video about Princess Mononoke, and another interesting thing about that film is that it has had such an influence on me that I, to this day, when I watch it, and I just watched it the other night to kind of get myself back into that mindset. Every time I watch, I have to make noodles because there's a scene where Jigo, who is the monk character, is setting up a camp, and Ashitaka is there, and at this camp they're having this noodle soup, and it's wonderful. And I have this need to have noodles when I watch that movie now. It's sort of like the same with Blade Runner. Anytime I watch that film, I have to have noodles because there's that scene where Harrison Ford's Decker character is at the noodle shop, and it has this ambiance and atmosphere to it, and I have to get involved. I have to join in with the heroes as they have their noodles. It's wonderful. So as I add more shading in particular, but also the glasses are going to make a big difference. As I mentioned, we're going to sort of start to see the drawing come together. So already I'm hoping it looks a little bit more impressive. And what a difference adding the glasses has made to the picture. And this is one of those things that you're probably tired of hearing by now if you're a long-time listener and watcher. The more dark you add to the picture, the more work you add to the picture, just the better it looks. And already it's starting to look like the man, the myth, and the legend. So you can see some of the adjustments that I've had to make over the course of this drawing, not only reshaping the eyes a little bit, but also in terms of the neck and collar, just trying to get some of those lines in the right spot, something which isn't always very easy. Also, I'm going a little bit more overboard with the shading on the face for two reasons. Number one, it looks like Mr. Miyazaki here has a phenomenal tan. I'm going to guess that he spends a lot of time outside with plants and flowers because based on the landscapes I've seen in his work, it would make sense that he's a really big fan of that sort of thing. And number two, it will make his beard, his snowy, beautiful beard, just stand out so much more by the time I get to that point. So coming along nicely, looking a lot better than it did just 2 segments ago. We'll see how this turns out. As I worked on this drawing, I had to think about some of the ways that Hayao Miyazaki has affected me in my own artwork. And certainly, although I don't create the kinds of backgrounds that he has in his amazing work, specifically coming to mind Howl's Moving Castle, just incredible in terms of the detail put into that work. And speaking of detail, even little things like the way that Chihiro puts on her shoes in a rush in Spirited Away. I mean, it's incredible the kind of things that are put into that kind of beautiful filmmaking. And I'm hoping that my art as well has got a richness to it that you'll see in those sorts of films and movies. And as I finish up here, working on some of the details, noticing that I need to put a bit more into the hair as well. And what I'm doing here is I'm just adding multiple layers of shading and then alternately getting rid of some of that shading to create the layers of the white hair in the work here. But as I do that, just a final thought. Hayao Miyazaki is a man who's created art with such amazing influence and has endured throughout decades and generations. I hope his art continues to endure in the future for generations to come. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that video and it maybe inspired you to create your own portrait of a significant person who has influenced you in your own art. Have yourselves a fantastic day and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.